Hello, greetings, this is Gilles Mancillon, welcome to my channel. I wanted to come and say hello, I wanted to speak briefly and I'm going to pull a few cards. I wanted to say that we have to work with those 7 flames. We've talked about this in some past videos. The 7 flame, the blue flame of power, the yellow flame of wisdom, the pink flame of love, the white fire of the heart, the green ray or the green fire of healing, the ruby gold fire of peace, and the violet fire of transmutation. But and in a sense, those 3 primary rays are the ones that we need to develop in priority: the blue, yellow, and pink, and to have them equally aligned within ourselves. But in a sense, I wanted to say that it's very important, if possible, to work them one at a time. For one day, just work with this blue fire called on the Archangel Michael. Base in the blue fire, ignite this blue fire within yourself. The blue fire is the hardest fire. It is the one that will burn all impurities. It is the power of the true power of divinity. It is the fire of the divine will, make manifest. So call on the Archangel Michael to assist you with that. Archea Face, or any of the other masters that work within this ray, and then tomorrow works on the yellow ray. Then the next day you work in the pink ray. Use your imagination, your third eye, your visualization, base in this fire. Let your whole body be consumed by this fire. Allow yourself to become this blue fire, this blue flame, and start to work with the flame one at a time, one day at a time. And for in essence, what I have to talk a lot about in essence. I'm sorry, I'm just realized that. When I have in my exploration, I've been shown the 6th dimension and the realm of the dragons. For there are 2 sorts of dragons. There is the ascended dragon community, which are beloved family of dragon fire, the guardian of the sacred fire, and there is dualized dragons that are polarized and that are working against the flow of ascension. So work only with the ascended dragons, but the dragons exist in the 6th dimension, and they are the guardian of the sacred fire. When you elevate yourself in this fire, in this dimension, you are turned into a fire, a flame, and you can see there is flame within flame within flame. There is colors within colors within colors, and you can let yourself be consumed. You see the flames are dancing around you. You see there is all kinds of this dimension will open up all kinds of things. But this connecting to this fire of the soul is very, very powerful, and to work one at a time. Also wanted to say that it is important whenever we are stressed, it's because we have carbon monoxide that are stuck within our lungs. So usually as a smoker, when you stress, you take a cigarette, so you bring carbon dioxide. You feel like it's calming you down, it is a relaxer, but in a sense it does not really work. So it is better to take 3 deep breaths. Try to empty out the lungs as much as possible and take another one. Taking 3 slow and deep breaths will usually bring enough oxygen so we can return to serenity and lucidity. The thing when we are stressed is usually we don't have the consciousness to take those 3 deep breaths to return to the alignment. But it's not that hard to realize that everything that happens in life happens through the breath. And so it is about learning to breathe better, to breathe more consciously, to be more to return to use the oxygen as the fuel for our life. Because as a smoker, when we smoke, it's a deep, intimate connection with our breath, and that's what we enjoy. But it's not healthy, so we have to return to deactivate those old programming in order to return to accept, to utilize, to relearn to use oxygen. For before we were smoker, we were non-smoker, so we didn't know what it was. So we have that within ourselves. We have this part of us that's never smoked until we did. But so it's about reconnecting to that part of us that's completely free of that idea. I'm not just saying that because there are billions of people that smoke cigarettes every day, and so or cigars or pipes or whatever. But understanding that there is all kinds of things that are happening that we're creating within our mind, that we're creating, but is the physical, the biological is the last to receive the energy of the transformation. And so it is important to when you do this breathing, when you is to turn your thoughts towards God. Is outside of you in the southwest. For that's where the paradise is. Always the southwest. You can feng shui. They'll tell you the gates of heaven are in southwest, or to or northwest. Sorry, not southwest. Northwest, and or within the Sacred Heart, within your heart. So you with your intention, you turn your thoughts towards God, and you imagine you're fusing, you're communing, you're becoming one with God. You, in this sense, you are reconnecting to your divinity within yourself, and so it's an exercise that we need to do it over and over and over again, to repeat all the time. And the problems of the world is very chaotic right now. There's all kinds of chaos. And I know I will be called to address certain of those problems of the world. God had asked me to become part of that, to address all the problems of the world. So soon I'm going to let go a little bit of all the mystical aspect of life to return to the earth plane. But those problems can only be solved by the tuning in to the God self. Or only God, or your God self, knows the solution to those complex problems. For this, they have created laws and laws that contradict themselves, oppose themselves, and often in legal systems, whoever's got the best lawyer will win, because they will find a law that will overstep the other. When it's not, justice is not about that. It's about fairness, about equality. Always ask for equality, for the highest good of all. But the God self already knows the solution, and those solutions cannot be always anticipated, but they can be discovered within the present of now, when we are able to tune into that frequency. I will return to share some notes. I feel that soon I'm going to travel. It's like Italy is calling me, Switzerland is calling me, Paris is central for me, but London, Berlin, New York, LA, Miami, those places are calling me. Also Japan, China, India, and also Madagascar. It's a place when I grew up, I had family there, and maybe returning to Madagascar. I'm going to pull a few cards to see what's the highest wisdom for us today. Is the dream. It's about understanding the dreams are meant. The dreams are. Well, there's two sorts of dreams. There's the dream that we receive that come from our sleeping state. Those are messages sometimes, of places we go to transmute energy, to test out things, to try out certain things. It's a more flexible dimension when we sleep. And they are the conscious dream, the dreams we have. We all are born with a dream. And so it's about cultivating our dream, to know that it is, and to not to let go until this dream realized. For the God, if you have a God within yourself and God is on your side, He wants you to fulfill your dream. So you have to understand this is to cultivate your dream, to believe in your dream. What you need to understand is clairvoyance. It's about being clear-minded. It's about finding. Right now, there may be some situation where they will not feel so clear-minded, because a lot of download of energy, a lot of old programs are being transmuted and turned off, and so. Sometimes you may forget a phone number, you may forget something that's a date or something, like all kinds of things that may be lapse in your. Do not worry if you have lapse in your concentration. It is part of the reprogramming, but it will open up to new level of clairvoyance. What we have to do is renewal. It's about this changing of the guard. It's about something totally new is about to happen, and the outcome is protection. We are being protected. We are being guarded by our guardian angels. You want to ask Spirit to intervene in your life. You want to ask angels, galactics, ascended master to intervene in your life. Do ask them. Ask God to intervene in your life. If you don't, they will not happen. So. We all benefit some protection. We have to feel that we are protected. To know this protection, the more you call on your God self, the more protection you get. It's not about praying to be protected. It's about, as you awaken to this inner power, you receive a natural protection from this connection. Well, I hope this message was meaningful and interesting for you. The painting behind me is a scene. And it's really coming together. It's becoming pretty. I like it. Sometimes my paintings are not so pretty until they become. It's really. I've been working on this painting for about 10 years, and sometimes it takes a very long time. And there's always those three graces, three muses that are three naked women and a cat that appear in many of those scenes. And there's this little person here. He's got this little ego on the left side, and it's like soul self on the left side. He's looking towards this soul, and there's those paintings, and it says paradise on top, and there's like the symbol of Fortuna. it says one, and there's a DNA chain. It's a mysterious painting. Then, of course, there's still details, the Eye of Horus. There's still of details on the light. There is the Trinity symbols. On the drawers, there is a symbol of Chiron. So all kinds of symbols, but it kind of works as a whole, but there's still a little bit of detailing to do. I finished with a song. It's one of the first song I tried to sing online. I didn't sing it very well, but I had to jump, I had to make a leap of faith and start singing. It's a song of Leonard Cohen. It goes like this. I heard there was a sacred chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this, the fourths, the fifths, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your face was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Well, baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I walk this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch, and love is not some victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. There was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show it to me, do you? And remember when I moved in you, and the holy dove was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah. 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 Or maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. And it's not a cry that you hear at night, it's not somebody who's seen the light, it's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Well, thank you very much for sticking till the end. I wanted to add something is that I don't know if it will mean anything for you, but for a very long time I live in France, but I loved white bread, this French bread. I used to love it. I ate a lot of it. And Spirit was telling me it's very bad for my health. White flour is really toxic, so I moved into cornbread, but now I'm moving bread with no gluten, and I hope the pressure will be released, because we may come to realize a lot of the things that we believe to be good for us, like chocolate and things like that, are not so healthy, or it may be healthy for as temporary, but when we want to create a light body, we want to develop our light body, there's a lot of certain things that we need to let go of, and that comes from the discipline of the senses. The mouth is like so many habits. My mouth is really undisciplined. I was always and so I had to change a lot of my habits, and so the master of wisdom, Thoth, or Hermes Trismegistus, the founder of philosophy, was recognizing and recommending that we only eat or drink when we're no longer angry, when we're no longer thirsty, so that we have mastered this desire for food. When we are no longer hungry, then we can eat. And so in a sense, also another thing to discipline our sense is the three monkeys of wisdom, and speak no evil, hear no evil, and see no evil. At least you're protecting your sense in that sense. Well, I hope this video was interesting for you. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Salat.